It's been the first day of trading after the September US Federal Reserve interest rate meeting, and it's been quite a volatile session for the Australian share market. Initially, the Australian share market opened up flat, only to drop as much as 1%, and then to the highs of the session gaining 0.9% before finishing up 0.4%. The US Federal Reserve kept interest rates on hold in the US as expected. What's interesting is what the market is now pricing in on the expectations around a December rate hike. Now, previous to this FOMC meeting, the market was pricing in a 63% chance that we would see a rate hike in the US in December. That's now fallen quite substantially, down to just a 45% chance. Now, because rates in the US are expected to stay lower for longer, that's been good news for high-yielding stocks. The banks particularly having a pretty good session on the Australian share market today. One other area which stood out were gold stocks. Since the carry cost of gold will be close to zero for a longer period of time, we saw gold stocks rallying. In fact, we saw some gold stocks like Tanimi as well as St. Barbara Mines reaching a year high. On the flip side though, there are still concerns around global growth, and that saw commodity-based stocks underperforming, so some weakness in terms of energy as well as the materials. There were also some highlights on the market, with some stocks reaching all-time record highs. This included stocks like Servcorp as well as TPG Telecom. On the flip side, some of those companies reaching a year low included companies like Arium, Dick Smith, as well as Thorn Group. So altogether, a pretty volatile session for the Australian share market. Pretty quiet in terms of company news, although we did see Premier Investments coming out with its profit numbers. We did see profit up by 21% at $88.1 million, slightly below market expectations of $90 million, and the shares of Premier Investments falling just a little bit. Of course, if you do expect consumer confidence to rise in coming months because of a greater stability in terms of the Australian government, well, the retail space would be one beneficiary of this. So altogether, a pretty volatile day for the Australian share market, and I guess now all eyes on the December US interest rate meeting to see whether we do see rates take off there.